You surely have seen, as a football fan here in South Africa, the big news that came out yesterday. It came out early, actually, during the day, that Stuart Baxter is no longer the coach of Kaizer Chiefs. But the club only confirmed the news officially at 8 o'clock in the evening. And, well, the man that had broken the story earlier in the day is Mazola Molefe of Soccer Laduma. He's a senior football writer there. He's joining me right now via Zoom line. Mazola, thank you so much for your time. You seemed to have been expecting something from Kaizer Chiefs at the time the story broke. What happened with Stuart Baxter between him and the club?
Yeah, morning, Benji, and good morning to your viewers as well. Look, I think over the previous weekend, after the defeat to SuperSport United, I mean, we know some of the comments that the coach made. I think probably those sort of fast-tracked the decision to part ways with the club. But I think it had been brewing. I mean, there's been a lot of tensions within the club, within Naturena. I think even earlier this year we reported that there were divisions, some affection that sided with assistant coach Arthur Zwane, and affection that sided with head coach and respected his authority, that is Stuart Baxter. So it's in a long line of maybe some results not going in the management's favor. We can even look at being knocked out of the Nedbank Cup, which probably, given the gap at the top in the DSTV Premiership with Mamelodi Sundowns running away with it, we could safely have assumed already by then that Sundowns were going to win the league. So Kaizer Chiefs' only hope of a trophy after 7 seasons of not getting one. Coincidentally, the last person to win them a trophy was Stuart Baxter in 2015. So being knocked out early of the Nedbank Cup was already a sore point, as alluded to by Sporting Director Kaizer Jr. a few months back. And I think moving forward with Stuart Baxter seemed like it would not happen. I think Benji, it was inevitable that Stuart would probably leave at the end of the season. It did sort of strike me as a bit of a surprise that the decision was taken with seven games to go. I think they could have let Stuart try to push for the CAF Champions League spot and then perhaps maybe make a final decision at the end of the season. But yeah, I think after the comments at the weekend and the reaction of the supporters, the writing was on the wall.
Mazola, do you feel that, I mean, you're talking about his comments. Did he know that this is what the club feels already? He would have expected some reaction as the fans returned to stadiums. Some would have thought maybe a positive thing, but he would have expected some sort of reaction from them, given how unhappy they've been. But did he know from within the club that something is about to happen? He did say, if the chairman wants me gone, I'll walk.
No, absolutely. I think. I mean, coaches know these things. When you're an employer for a club or a company, when there are hints that you are on borrowed time, you sense it, you feel it. As I said to you that. I mean, just even look at the statement issued by the club last night. There are no comments or quotes from the chairman or sporting director or the football manager or the marketing director, Jessica Mutau, who's also a director at the club. So that's unusual. Usually when a coach is fired or let go or parted amicably, whatever. Use of the language that they would rather you get statements from the big boss or the football manager or whoever sort of made the call. So for me, from where I'm sitting, that's a slight hint that perhaps not everyone was in agreement with the decision to sack the coach. But having said that, at the end of the day, the buck stops with the chairman. I think that's why the coach referred to the chairman in his comments, that if the chairman wants him to go, who the buck stops with, then he will walk. But I definitely get a sense that Stuart knew that that there was a X hovering over his head over the last couple of weeks. If you read between the lines, some of his comments during press conferences and some of the statements that were made by Kaizer Jr. at the launch of the Toyota sponsorship a few months back.
All right, before we move on to another big issue between Orlando Pirates and Simba SC, quickly, the two names that seem to be bandied about by a lot of people. Benni McCarthy is already seemingly in the running, at least according to some fans. And of course, Arthur Zwane has always been there at the club. What's your feeling?
Yeah, look, I think Arthur will be given an opportunity these remaining 7 games to prove that maybe he's got the pedigree. I still think perhaps he still needs to learn maybe from senior coaches, whether I don't know who locally would be available to take over the job, or whoever comes from out of South Africa to help Arthur develop as a coach. He's still a young coach. I think he's got great potential to be the head coach of Kaizer Chiefs at some point. Whether it's now, that remains to be seen. Let's see. Also, to judge him in the last 7 games of the season, when there isn't much to fight for, Benji. Let's be honest. Yes, there's the CAF Champions League spot, but if he doesn't get it, then what? The club's not going to fire him. They've already let go of the head coach who was meant to be there for at least 2 years or 4 years if you count the 2-year option. So let's see. Maybe Arthur has done it before with 6-7 games previously when Gavin Hunt was let go, and some, depending who you speak to, some will say Arthur helped take them all the way to the Champions League final, although Stuart was already there when they played when they played in the CAF Champions League semi-final. So let's see. Benni, I'm not so sure. Yes, the rumor mill has linked Benni with the Chiefs job even before Gavin Hunt took over. So I don't know if that's just a rumor mill or if there's really actually been talks. To my knowledge, there's not been official talks about Benni McCarthy taking over as the head coach of Kaizer Chiefs. I think they will play it by ear and see how Arthur does. I think Chiefs will be inundated with CVs from top coaches and mediocre coaches trying to get that hot seat, because it is, after all, one of the plum jobs on the continent.
Yeah, Mazola, quickly, we have just 30 seconds on the Orlando Pirates and Simba SC issue. Coach Mandla Ncigazi took a swipe at the club when they went to play there last week. Simba, in reply, had a scathing statement of their own against the coach. Tensions as they come into the country this weekend. How's the story developed in the last few days?
Yeah, this one is difficult, Benji, because it's he said, she said, So unless there's, we've seen some video accounts, and Simba have said they've written a detailed report to CAF for calling for disciplinary action. So I don't know. CAF must decide which direction to take here, because some of us saw the one side of the story, and Simba are saying the complete opposite. But I expect tensions to be high at Orlando Stadium this weekend.
All right, Mazola, thank you so much for your time. That story promising to actually even go the direction of a diplomatic crisis between South Africa and Tanzania. That's Mazola Molefe, football writer, senior football writer, talking to us about the matter of Kaizer Chiefs sacking Stuart Baxter and Orlando Pirates' issue with Simba SC.